lack of memory, geometric distribution. Let us see in brief first what a geometric distribution is. So geometric distribution. Suppose we have independent trials and each trial results in two outcomes, say either success or failure. So trial means a happening of an experiment. Suppose the experiment is tossing of a coin, and suppose the first toss is called as the first trial, and these tossings are independent of each other, which means when we toss the coin for the first time and then we toss the coin for the second time, the tossing in both the trials, the tossing is independent of each other, right? So the first toss is independent of the second toss, the third toss is independent of the first and second tosses. So all the tosses are independent of each other. So suppose we have independent trials of any experiment and each trial results in two outcomes, say either success or failure. So here when we toss a coin, we are having two outcomes, right? Either we'll be getting a heads or we'll be getting a tails, right? Let heads, occurrence of heads be called as success and occurrence of tails be called as failure, or vice versa. So whenever the trial results in two outcomes, either A or B, mutually exclusive and exhaustive outcomes are, this is what we are considering here. So either we'll be getting outcome A or we'll be getting outcome B, either heads or tails, for example. And let if we are getting A as an outcome, let it be called as success, and the occurrence of B as the outcome will be called as, suppose, failure. So understood? So we are having basically a trial, and when a trial is conducted, we'll be getting either success or failure as our outcome. So we'll be getting any one of the two outcomes, and these trials are independent. Now let the probability of success, say P, is same in each trial. So let the probability of getting heads is, suppose, P. So once a coin is tossed, the probability of getting heads, suppose it is P, the probability of getting heads is P, and in each trial, like whenever we are going to toss the coin, in each trial the probability of getting heads will be same, it will be P only, right? Then the probability of failure in each trial is given by Q, which is equal to 1 minus P, because the outcomes are mutually exclusive and exhaustive. So either we'll be getting heads or we'll be getting tails. There is no third outcome as far as this experiment is concerned. So if the probability of getting heads is P or success is P, then probability of failure will be 1 minus P, so that P plus Q is equal to 1. So total probability will be equal to 1. So probability of success is P, probability of failure is Q, equal to 1 minus P in each trial. Then the probability that there are X failures preceding the first success is given by Q raised to X into P, where Q is equal to 1 minus P. Now from where have we got this Q raised to X into P? Again I'm going to read the sentence. So the probability that there are X failures. So how many failures are there? X. The probability, so suppose there are 3 heads before we get the first tail. So first the coin will be tossed for the first time, we'll be getting a heads. So probability of getting heads is, that is failure. Suppose getting a tail is called as success, heads is called as failure. So in the first trial we are tossing a coin, we are getting heads, the probability of failure is Q. Now again we are tossing the coin, we are getting again heads, the probability, which is a failure, again the probability of failure is Q. Again the third time we are tossing the coin, we have again got heads, which is again a failure, and the probability of failure is Q. So 3 times we have gotten heads. So the probability of getting 3 heads is Q into Q into Q, which is Q raised to 3. So here we have taken X as 3, so this becomes Q raised to 3, here it is Q raised to X. So X failures before the first success. Now 4th time we are tossing the coin, and 4th time we are getting tails, which is the success in our experiment, and the probability of success is P. So in the first 3 trials or first 3 tosses we are getting heads, 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 and in the fourth toss we are getting tails, the probability is P. So here Q into Q into Q into P. So this becomes Q raised to 3 into P. Now let us generalize this. Now instead of 3 we are getting X, we are taking X failures preceding the first success, and hence the probability becomes Q raised to X, that is Q into Q into Q into Q up to Q X times into the first success, which is, and the probability of success is P. So this becomes Q raised to X into P. Now we'll see the definition of a geometric random variable or a geometric distribution. So a random variable X, okay, is said to have a geometric distribution if it assumes only non-negative values, because how many failures can we get? We can get 0 failure, 1 failure, 2 failures, 3 failures, and so on. So X, which is nothing but failures, number of failures before the first success or preceding the first success, it will take non-negative values, either 0 or 1 or 2 or so on. It can't take negative value. And its PMF, that is the probability mass function, is given by probability X equal to X is equal to Q raised to X, which we have seen already, Q raised to X into P, where X is going from 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. Because P is the probability of success, it is a probability, it lies between 0 to 1, and here the probability of success is not 0, it cannot be 0, so 0 less than P less than equal to 1, so probability of success will not be 0, the success will occur definitely in geometric distribution, and Q is nothing but 1 minus P, and it is 0 otherwise. Otherwise in the sense when X becomes negative, whenever X is taking any other value other than 0, 1, 2, 3 or so on, that means when X takes negative values, this probability becomes 0, because X can never be negative. The number of failures preceding the first success can never be negative. So this is the geometric distribution, and the geometric variable X is nothing but number of failures preceding the first success. So it is number of failures preceding the first success taking non-negative values, and its probability is given by Q raised to X into P. Now if we see, if we put in this formula X equal to 0, if we put X equal to 0, Px equal to X will become Q raised to 0 into P. Q raised to 0 is 1, and we'll take P as it is. So this is the probability X equal to 0. If we take X equal to 1, so here Q raised to 1 into P, Q raised to 1 is Q into P, QP. So probability X equal to 1 is QP. Similarly, probability X equal to 2 is Q raised to 2 into P. Probability X equal to 3 is Q raised to 3 into P. So now these probabilities, if you see, as we go on increasing the value of X from 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on, the probabilities, they generate a geometric series, a geometric progressive series, P, Q into P, Q square into P, Q cube into P, right? So we are multiplying each term by Q, so P, Q into P, again we are multiplying QP into Q, so this becomes Q square into P, Q cube into P and so on. So because the probabilities are making or generating a geometric progressive series, hence this is called as a geometric distribution, hence the name geometric distribution. Okay, lack of memory. Now let us see what lack of memory property of geometric distribution is. It is also called as memorylessness of geometric distribution. It is one of the important features of geometric distribution. The geometric distribution is said to lack memory in a certain sense. Geometric distribution lacks memory in some sense. We are going to see in what sense does geometric distribution lack memory. Now suppose an event E can occur at one of the times t equal to 0, 1, 2 and so on. Now suppose there is an event E and it occurs at a certain time t. Okay, event E occurs at certain time t. T is discrete, starting from 0, taking value 0, 1, 2, so on. Fine. So here t is taken as discrete. Now suppose event E occurs at time t. Fine. And the occurrence or waiting time x has a geometric distribution with parameter p. Now this waiting time, that means this is the time from 0 at which E occurs. So this is the waiting or the occurrence time of event E. So this occurrence time, we are saying that it follows, suppose, a geometric distribution with parameter P. Thus, probability of x equal to t, x is nothing but the occurrence time of event E, the time at which E occurs from 0.
Hello, Moth.
Okay, so this is the waiting time from 0 or occurrence time from 0 at which the event E occurs. Now, this probability x equal to t is nothing but q raised to t into p, t going from 0, 1, 2 and so on. Now this we have seen, this is the PMF of geometric distribution, and this we have seen in our previous slide. So probability that the occurrence time is t is equal to q raised to t into p, because we have said this random variable, which is the occurrence time, it follows a geometric distribution with parameter p. Till this it is clear. Now suppose we know that the event E has not occurred before K. Now we know that the event E has occurred at X, but this is additional information that it has occurred at X, that is fine, but it has not occurred before K, right? Suppose for example the phone call has come, suppose after 5 hours we know, but the additional information we know is it has not occurred before 3 hours. It has taken total 5 hours, but it has not occurred before 3 hours. That is, the phone call has come after 3 hours, if we count this from time 0, right? So here we know that x is greater than equal to k, because this statement tells us that the occurrence time x is greater than or equal to k, because the event has not occurred till k. It has not occurred before k, it has occurred after k. So because it has occurred after k units of time, the occurrence time is definitely greater than equal to k. Now let y equal to x minus k. Now this is the additional time required for the event to occur after k, right? So this is nothing but 5 minus 3, which is equal to 2 hours. The phone call has taken 2 hours more than k to occur, right? Thus, y is the amount of additional time needed for E to occur. We can show that probability y equal to t given x greater than equal to k is equal to probability x equal to t, which is equal to q raised to t into p. Now again let us see, this is nothing but the lack of memory property. If you see carefully, probability this additional time is equal to t is nothing but probability the initial waiting time is equal to t, but here probability the additional time is t is a conditional probability where the condition is x is greater than equal to k, right? So additional times probability is same as the initial time probability, and in this step you can see it has forgotten the time k. So let us see this diagram. So suppose this is the starting point, and from starting point suppose the event E has occurred after x units of time, but we know that the event E has occurred after k units of time. So event E has occurred somewhere here. So k units of time has passed. After k, the event E has occurred. Now suppose this is